I'm Keith with the Escape Game, and we want to send you to prison. And we want to lock you in a dark room. Is that right? Did you read this? You can do it at the Escape Game. The Escape Game. And we want to lock you in a small enclosed space, and you have to do math to get out. Who approved this? Did you write this?
Hi, I'm Mark, one of the founders of the Escape Game, and I'm coming to you from the lobby of our Ruins experience in Nashville, Tennessee. I'd like to extend to you all a very warm and excited welcome to all of the players out there, the enthusiasts, the owners, the entire escape room community, owners, designers, manufacturers, and creators, and especially those of you who work in escape room facilities across the world that serve guests every day, including the team members at the Escape Game stores. What you do is integral to our industry and very special to the guests that you serve. I'd also like to thank the Room Escape Artist team for their unwavering commitment to our industry and for putting on this very first RECON, the Reality Escape Convention. We are here, we're excited, we're honored to be part of this event and very much looking forward to the speakers and the insights that we're going to get over the next couple days. We'd like to share with you a little bit about what we're experiencing and what we have experienced going through COVID and to the other side and coming out of COVID, what we're seeing in the industry and what we're prioritizing as a company, and hopefully you enjoy it. A little bit about our company, The Escape Game. We started working on our very first experience in our family basement, the Flint family basement, in November of 2013. Fast forward almost 7 years, we now have 18 stores across the United States, soon to be 19. We have created 11 unique experiences in our retail stores, 11 unique games. We've created several short-run experiences for third parties such as Disney and the accounting firm PwC. We've got digital games that are fully online now, and we've created a board game. Our team loves what they do. They love the industry. We're passionate about the industry. Our home base is in Nashville, Tennessee, and our approach to business is summed up in our mission statement, which is to design and deliver epic interactive experiences for every single guest. We are looking forward to having our team share with you today the heightened importance of innovation and hospitality as the escape room industry navigates COVID and beyond. I'd like to share a little bit with you that I have observed in our stores and in talking with several leaders across the world, owners of individual escape room facilities, owners of companies, leaders of companies constituting over 100 different escape room facilities. And the general consensus is this has been hard. The reality of COVID is that there's the challenges of death and disease and the seriousness of the health effects, and the also secondary effects of its impact on businesses, specifically our industry. In the middle of March, we had to close all of our stores, and they remained closed until the beginning of May, when we were able to start opening stores one by one. And in the interim, we tried to do everything we could to make ends meet, including making protective equipment for healthcare workers, working on projects for other parties, anything that we could do to help our team and our company survive the challenges. We had a very difficult April. We didn't have hardly any revenues. In May, things ticked up a little bit. We were able to get to 12% of our original budgeted revenues. June and July were even better. We got to 30 to 40% of our budgeted revenues. And then August, we're seeing continued gains in the stores. Expenses, however, remain the same and the challenges are real. But we're excited and have noticed several trends start to emerge and have been really surprised by the strength of the demand. And our outlook, although realistic about the challenges, is really optimistic about where the industry can go. A few of the trends that we've began to see is the differences in performance among stores is really varied. And so we have some stores that are closed, we have some stores that are just doing a trickle of what they did in the prior year. We have one store that's doing as well or even better. Some of the things that are determining that performance depend on what each location was relying on for its core business prior to COVID. Those locations that are very tourist dependent or dependent on large corporate groups have had the biggest challenges. An exception to that is tourism for destinations where it's a drivable destination versus air travel have done particularly well. Another thing that we've noticed is that the environment that we have to work in to create and deliver experiences that are both safe and compelling and enjoyable for guests has become very complex. Regulations in the United States and internationally differ significantly from location to location, and the challenges that we're facing, we're learning day by day how to meet those. A final trend that we are seeing in the industry emerge is that consumer preferences are changing somewhat dramatically. And we watch the data that comes out of a company called Morning Consult, which measures consumer preferences related to comfort with leisure activities. And as we've seen those numbers kind of go up and down, that comfort that consumers have, we're seeing their behaviors change. And the old idea of which type of people are willing to play an escape room is changing. There's some people who weren't willing to play before, but now are willing to play in these new formats. It used to be that every summer was really, really busy, and when everyone went back to school, things kind of got a little bit tighter. But now we're seeing continued demand as we get into August. And so the things that we've seen in the past are changing. Ultimately, our company, based on what we've observed and what we've heard from other owners, we're very optimistic about where the industry can go, but it's going to be a challenging time to navigate. And we believe that hospitality and innovation are some of the keys. With that, I'd like for you to be able to hear from James. He's one of our co-founders. He runs our operations. He's in tune with the stores and their consumer preferences that are going on in those stores and those stores' ability to work in these new complex environments. He has some ideas for what's going to be important coming up in running an escape room facility, and look forward to you hearing from him. James?
Hi, my name is James. I'm one of the co-founders of the Escape Game. I'm really happy to be with you guys today. Right now, I'm standing in our Mission Mars room and here in Nashville in our headquarters. So I'm really excited to be with you. Mark asked me to speak a little bit on what makes the Escape Game special. And I believe what makes the Escape Game special is also what makes our whole industry special. And so I get this question all the time. Is the Escape Game, or is this industry a fad? And my answer is, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. And I think there are a few ways and things that we can focus on as the Escape Game and as an industry that'll continue to elevate this concept in the eyes of our consumers and critics. This is such a beautiful and amazing industry that kind of came out of nowhere that I think we're all lucky to be a part of. And so I want to talk about those things really quickly, then you'll hear from other people in our company as well. And so the first one is professionalism. Do we operate professional and welcoming environments? And I think this is so vital because I think sometimes the focus is just on the games and not on the whole entire product. And I think there's no reason that we cannot be the most professional concept out there. From our cleanliness to the types of stores we operate in and how we operate, especially in a world of COVID, post-COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, whatever we're in right now, I think we should set the standard of cleanliness and a welcome environment. The second thing is people. At the Escape Game, we believe our best asset and our best competitive advantage as an industry and as a company is the people we hire and the people we work with in our team. And so sometimes in some of our launches, we have 18 stores, and in some of our launches we've interviewed hundreds of people to find the 15 that are gonna start the store. And they're not necessarily the people with the 15 most impressive resumes, but they are the people that we believe want to serve guests and provide legendary experiences for people. So I believe if our industry continues to hire great people, train them, provide them careers, it's gonna help the whole entire industry. And it's gonna bring some of the best people from other industries into the Escape Game, both in the creative fields as well as the hospitality field. And so I'm very excited about what we're seeing about the types of people and skill set that people bring that are coming to the Escape Game. And number 3 is guests. I mean, what would this industry or our company or any of us be without our guests? They come to our games, they cheer us on, they're our ambassadors. And what they've done for us on TripAdvisor and Yelp is unbelievable. I think this industry lends itself to unbelievable reviews because we have an opportunity with a one-on-one connection with them to really change their day. And I'm so excited about what I read in the reviews from our company as well as a lot of the other companies out there. And our goal every single day is to continue to provide legendary experiences for them. So first of all, if you're a guest out there, I want to thank you for coming to our store, for coming to the other escape game companies, and really just for supporting us, this brand new industry. And our goal, I'm sure everyone's here's goal, is to continue to wow you and blow your minds with innovation, creativity, and unbelievable hospitality. And so one other thing that's actually super vital, obviously, that I haven't touched on, that our company loves to focus on and spends a lot of investment on, and really the funnest part of escape games, is the innovation and creativity that goes into these unbelievable products like this room. And so I want to throw it over to my brother and one of the co-founders, Jonathan, who's going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we do in innovation creativity.
Thanks, James. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the products that we've sort of innovated with and the process and the things that we've done over the last few months to kind of stay relevant and also adapt to this COVID shutdown environment. And so there's two things that I want to sort of talk about in terms of ways that we dealt with the shutdown and ways that we thought about our innovation and the way that we would release products. And so there's two themes that sort of have been the centerpiece of our innovation strategy. One is the idea that we need to ship stuff that's good and not wait for it to be perfect. And then two is this idea that we got to start somewhere, and it's not going to be perfect right away. We might not know where it's going to end up, but we need to start somewhere and start innovating, and we'll learn as we go. And so at the beginning of the shutdown, we were fortunate to have a product that was called Unlocked. It was a subscription box-based product with a digital component. And so right at the beginning, we said, how do we get something digital into the hands of our audience? And we're like, what if we just digitize Unlocked and make it no physical component, digital only? It was an okay idea, and the game was a good fit for it, but we said, we got to get something in the hands of our audience. Let's get a digital product out for them. So we gave our team a really short timeline, less than 2 weeks, and said, guys, figure out a way to make this compelling game digital only. We've got to get it out there though, because we got to start learning. We got to see, do people even want something like this? And so I'm sure glad that we got that out there quickly, because what we started learning was people did want something like this. People were really engaged with it, really excited about it, and it made us realize, okay, there's more here, and we can spend effort and we can really spend time now because we've proven that there's an audience for this type of work. And so that proof gave us the confidence to then jump into volume 2 head first and really go after more work like that. So the ability to start and ship something out there lets you start learning and getting market feedback, which is so important so you can have the confidence that your development efforts are going in the right direction. If we'd gotten feedback early on that people didn't like what we were doing, we would have been able to pivot and do something that they did like. And so that was a really important thing to us early on, was start somewhere and get it out there so you can start learning from it. Another way that applied to the work that we've done is we had this idea to use all these really exciting virtual tours that are starting to crop up all over the place during Corona. There's a virtual tour of the Smithsonian, virtual tour of the Eiffel Tower, all these people utilizing the awesome advancements in 3D imagery and doing these tours. We said, is there a way that we could combine that with an escape room type concept and make it educational? So we had sort of this brainstorming session with the marketing team and said, I think there's something there. Let's explore it. Let's put out a game. We quickly came up with a theme and a title. We called it TG Field Trips. We said, let's make something educational. Let's make something fun. Let's see what people think about it. And we're not even going to charge for it. Let's give ourselves a crazy timeline, 5 days. And let's do it. And so in 5 days, we designed a game, we came up with a theme, we came up with a brand, came up with a basic digital platform, and we said, all right, let's see what the world thinks about this. And it was by no means a perfect product. It wasn't a polished product, but it was good enough for us to start learning from. Again, I'm glad that we got it out there quickly because we started getting a lot of really good feedback from it. We got a lot of people playing it, a lot of people interested in it, and most importantly, we got people's attention, and a large company, Amazon, came to us and said, hey, we like how you're innovating in this Corona shutdown environment. Can we work together because we can't do physical events right now? And so us innovating, we had no idea, believe me, when we said that we should do TG Field Trips, that would lead to Amazon coming in the door. What we did know was that if we were going to get cool product out there and be willing to continue to improve it, it would open doors and create opportunities for us to follow. And so a lot of this is sort of opportunistically doing things, making them better, and then seeing where the next open door is. And so Amazon came in and asked us to partner with them after seeing our TG field trip, said, can you make a digital game that can sort of be a part of the launch of one of our new titles? And so they asked us to do a game about Hannah that was sort of a bridge game between Hannah Season 1 and Hannah Season 2. It's out right now. You should definitely play the game. It's free. That's the best part of it. The show is also great as well. So check that out.
Hello, Agent. Welcome to U-Tracks.
That was a really cool partnership that evolved out of us just starting something and trying something new, and then being willing to ship it out there when it was good enough and to continue to make it better. Those two themes also show up in the last thing I'm going to talk about, which is remote adventures. And so we weren't the first company to do these remote or digital adventures that you're seeing pop up. But what they've turned in for us is a really, really exciting avenue for growth that we're leading towards. We're really excited about where this is going. We weren't the first to market with it. We were inspired by a lot of other people doing great things in this space. But we gave ourselves, when we said, hey, let's pursue this, we gave ourselves a really short timeline and said, hey, 2 weeks, we've got to have something out to market. It's going to be good. It's not going to be perfect. We can't obsess too much and have the perfect platform. And I'm sure glad we did, because we still don't have the perfect platform. Thousands of players later, we're still making the platform better a little bit each day. Every single week, we release a new feature that makes the platform better. But if we would have waited for all the bells and whistles, we still wouldn't have run our first game. And if we had waited this long to run our first game, all this learning that we've done that's informed the product, that's informed our marketing, would never have happened. And so those two themes of shipping good but not great product, and then also starting somewhere, like start the remote adventure process and learn as you go. You'll get feedback from guests. You'll get to evolve the product. You'll get to figure out where the opportunity actually is for you and your company. And so those are the encouragements I have coming out of this. Is we've learned a lot by doing those two things, following those principles. I think they'll serve you well, especially in this chaotic, uncertain environment where you have to make lots of decisions in a very short amount of time. The more feedback you get from your audience, the better. Back to you, Mark. That's all I got.
Thank you, Johnny and James, for those insights. You know, when we prepare a presentation like this, it can come across as polished and neat and clean, and it's after decisions have been made. When we're in the middle of it, it's not quite so clean. In fact, it's pretty messy. And we are all passionate about our experiences. And historically, I've been, you know, can we do one more test for this game? Can we make one more change? We've got to get it just perfect before we send it out. And James and the ops team are providing insights as, hey, have you thought about how guests are going to do this and how they're going to do that logistically, and how's this going to work? And Johnny, as you could probably tell from his talk, has always been a champion of let's get this out to market. Let's open it. We can always work on the next experience as soon as this one is out. And I really believe that we all can use a dose of Johnny's fervor in getting things to market and going in this time. And I'd love to speak directly to the creators and the designers out there. Those of you who have a ton of experience and those of you who may just have an idea that hasn't come to fruition yet. We need you. This industry needs you, and this is your time. It seems like it's a time when money is tight, demand is uncertain, maybe time to hunker down and wait for the sun to shine again before we get out there and create again. But I've been so inspired to see all of the ideas coming from this industry. It is a hallmark of this industry, the creativity and the passion of our designers and creators. And I just want to encourage you, don't hold back during this time. We can't wait to see what you're going to create next. With that, I would love to introduce you to our team. They're going to share with you some insights from all the different departments. We hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Mandel with the Operations Department, and I'd like to assert to you today that hospitality matters more than ever. I'll begin by sharing a true story from one of our stores. One day, a family of 5 walked into our Dallas location to book a game called Playground. Our lobby host quickly noticed that the 3 young boys in the family appeared to be about the same age and discovered that they were triplets. Not only that, but after asking a few questions, the employee discovered that it was their birthday, and to top it off, one of the triplets was blind. The brother who was blind was noticeably more shy and reserved than his brothers, often hiding behind his mother's leg. As the family was waiting, this employee, moved by the situation, conferred with the shift leader and other game guides as to how they might be able to make the experience for this family extra special. After a few minutes, they hatched an amazing plan. Realizing that the first clue of the game was auditory in nature, they pulled the young boy who was blind aside before the game and gave him a hint for him to be able to solve the first clue of the game. As he solved the clue, he immediately perked up and became much more outgoing. Next, the store team pulled the mother aside and informed her that they were going to replace a pivotal clue towards the end of the game with a custom-made Braille clue that the team put together on the fly, allowing the blind brother to be effectively the one who won the game for his whole family. As the boy solved the final clue, his parents and brothers cheered, hoisting him up in the air to celebrate the win. Meanwhile, during the progress of the game, another game guide found a hot glue gun and created a birthday card for the young boy using Braille glue dots, which the team presented to him upon the family's victory. Tears of joy and gratitude streamed down the mother's face as she thanked the team for their hospitality and their thoughtfulness. Later, in an email to the store manager, she expressed how her family would never forget that day. In 1 hour, without spending any money, a group of frontline employees was able to forever impact a family through an escape game. What an honor to be a part of. You know, it's easy to forget that every guest who comes through our doors has a life and a story just like ours, and that they may be in the midst of a significant life situation, from the tragic to the ecstatic, as they cross our path. It's so easy to miss what lies right beneath the surface of the normal pleasantries of guest interaction. You know, we've learned through trial and error that it makes all the difference in the world to go below the surface with guests, to connect with them on a personal level, revealing ways that we can provide a custom, one-of-a-kind experience that they'll never forget. We call this collecting and connecting clues, and it's something any staff member can do anytime a guest walks through the door. Clues are pieces of information about guests that you collect by asking great questions and genuinely caring, and then applying what you learn to enhance their experience in meaningful ways. It could be as simple as learning, remembering, and using a guest's name to address them personally, to something as detailed as the story I shared a minute ago. It's the type of hospitality that's hard to find even in 5-star hotels, but often doesn't cost any more than intentionally caring. It's almost like an escape game that you and your employees get to play, finding the clues to unlock a meaningful experience for every single guest. You know, there are countless meaningful moments that we get to be a part of in the lives of our guests, from bachelor and bachelorette parties, to birthdays and proposals, to those who come to play escape games as a means of catharsis or as an escape from life's harsher realities. As one of our founders has often said, escape games may not cure cancer, but they do provide us a unique opportunity to enter into our guests' lives and truly make a meaningful, lasting impact, even in 1 hour. You know, we don't look for these opportunities to boost our fame or our bottom line. In fact, with the exception of right now, we rarely talk about these things outside of internal meetings. However, we have found that you can never lose by making a lifelong fan who will talk about your business and your people for years to come. That type of goodwill has a way of always coming back around and being good for business. Today, as we face the harsh realities that a worldwide pandemic brings to all of us, there's never been a better time to intentionally go beyond mere entertainment by providing meaningful moments and lasting memories. Hospitality truly does matter more than ever. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Emily from the Ops team. At the Escape Game, we obviously put a strong emphasis on hospitality and the guest experience. But we believe the key to the delivery of that hospitality really is finding and developing leaders in our stores. But we rarely hire from the outside for our leadership positions. In fact, all 18 of our current general managers started in-store as our entry-level position, a game guide, and then moved up the ranks from there. The same is true of all of our assistant managers and most of our corporate team. We all started on the front lines. One of the best parts, in my opinion, about the escape room industry really is its newness. There aren't experts in operating escape rooms. We're all just learning as we go. And that means we don't have to look for people who have an escape room degree on their resume. I don't even think that's a thing. Instead, we're able to hire leaders who previously waited tables, studied musical theater, or made pizzas for a living, or honestly, everything in between. Really, the only common thread within our leadership team is a true desire to serve others. One of our general managers in particular, named Zach, has an incredibly varied background. Before the Escape game, he was a performer, really a jack of all trades. He performed in traveling musicals, he studied puppetry, he made balloon animals, he even performed in flash mobs for a living. But I'll never forget meeting him while hosting an orientation for the launch of our Dallas location. He was there, hired as a game guide, but he immediately just connected with our hospitality approach. I remember sharing stories of memorable moments that we'd created for our guests, and Zach literally started to cry. He just got it. He saw who we are and what we were doing, and he wanted to be a part of it. He was phenomenal from day one. All we had to do was empower him, invest in him, and then get out of his way. Within 9 months, he became the assistant manager of the Dallas location. And then less than 2 years later, we were leading an orientation together for the launch of our Atlanta store, this time with him as the general manager. I remember seeing him lead this orientation and sharing his own stories of memorable moments that he had created for guests. And I was just so incredibly proud that someone who was on the receiving end of this orientation less than 2 years ago was now leading it, and honestly better than I could have. Now he's on to his next adventure. He's getting ready to launch our newest store in Irvine, California later this year as the general manager there. But the best part about Zach's story, in my opinion, is that there are so many Zachs out there. People who want to deliver phenomenal hospitality and, even more importantly than that, can lead their teams to do the same. All they need is someone to invest in them, someone to empower them, someone to equip them to become a leader. And we believe that hospitality starts there.
Hey, what's up? I'm Teddy from the marketing team, and I'm going to talk more about hospitality because hospitality is actually the best marketing strategy. It's not something I knew when I started here at the Escape game. I came in thinking I was some kind of marketing hotshot with a ton of ideas, some very expensive ideas, some very bad ideas, putting all of our time and energy into email and social media and SEO and our website. Those are all good things. But what the team pointed out to me is that over half of our guests say they heard about us from a friend. So the real magic is word of mouth. The beautiful thing is that hospitality, how we're delivering it, and word of mouth can be measured. And we measure it through the Net Promoter Score. The Net Promoter Score, or NPS, is measured by asking the question, how likely are you to recommend, fill in the blank, to a friend or colleague? And the final score is somewhere between -100 and 100, and typically over a 30 is considered a good score. Here are some scores from companies you've heard of before. On the lower end, you'll see cable companies and internet providers. Nobody likes them. It's just really hard in that line of work to have a high NPS. You'll see some brands you recognize in the middle. On the high end, you'll see Tesla. I've never seen a score higher than Tesla. Clearly, if you buy a Tesla, you want to tell others about it. Here are some of our scores. We always measure NPS. We love it because it's an objective way to see how our products stack up against each other, how different locations, how we do over time, month over month, year over year. Really, at its core, NPS is just a measure of if we're meeting and exceeding our guest expectations. So a basic formula is if we have great products and deliver them with hospitality, which is the priority, NPS goes up, which tells us word of mouth is going up, which drives the whole business. There are definitely things that can be done to hurt or help word of mouth and NPS. Things that would hurt NPS would be overcharging and under-delivering. If the guest feels they paid too much for the experience they got, they're gonna have a negative taste in their mouth. They're gonna tell others they didn't like it very much. Even overhyping and under-delivering. Our CEO, who you heard from earlier, Mark, this is his worst nightmare, is us overhyping things. So when we launched our recent game, Ruins Forbidden Treasure, I couldn't help but put together a little billboard campaign for approval. that he promptly shot down. And also, we would never do that. There are ways we can improve it as well. The main one is just exceeding expectations. And I think the best way to do that is epic hospitality. No one expects world-class hospitality from an escape room. I can almost promise. And I think our category has a really interesting and unique opportunity because it's naturally so fun. I've played so many games from so many companies. It's just so fun and people love it. So if we provide it with world-class hospitality, people are gonna leave with so much more than they thought. They're going to talk about it with their friends, and with lots and lots of great word of mouth out there about our category, about our industry, we can't lose.
Fun with Finance
with Phil
and Andrew.
Hey everyone, Phil from Finance here with Andrew from Product Operations. And we're here to talk to you about the incredibly exciting, incredibly important,
and somewhat dry
topic of financial tactics that we deployed during the recent pandemic. We understand that finance may not be everybody's cup of tea or bag, so if you need a break, if you need to grab a snack, maybe take a 3 to 5 minute cat nap, now's the time to do that. So here to talk a little bit about finances, I'll throw it over to Andrew.
So when Phil and I were given the task of looking at our finances and doing a more back-end approach, we clearly had to do a behind-the-curtain look at how we can treat hospitality and finances.
Yeah, so like many of you, we faced some pretty significant financial challenges during the recent pandemic. This required us to reach out to many of our landlords, marketing partners, and other vendors to try to find some solutions for our short-term financial issues. Throughout these conversations, it became increasingly evident of the way that our vendors and landlords value our industry and our product as a way to generate additional traffic to their retail locations. You know, as the old adage goes, rising tide lifts all boats. That confidence in our industry and our product allowed us to enter into these conversations and negotiations with a lot of confidence, so that we could approach them with mutually beneficial goals to try to find some solutions during some difficult times.
I was given a task that was to look at our finances and see where we could maybe shave a few dollars off. And the first thing I did was to call some of our vendors. About once a year, I call my personal internet vendor and ask them what they can do on my plan and see if there's something they can do a little bit better for me. And without fail, they've always got something a little bit better. And so this year, I had a bit of a different script with the current situation, but I called a bunch of our vendors, and so many of them were great hosts. In many cases, we were able to get a month or two of free service, which was above and beyond what we could have expected. And in other cases, they were able to hold our service for a few months and also hold our billing for a few months. And all those little things help. Additionally, Phil and I kind of took a look at our internal spending and combed through our transactions to find areas where we might be able to save $1 or $2. And so for us, we found many things that were worth chopping off. And so we had a couple of hot spots that we were no longer using and were able to cancel the plans on those. We found that we could do our own lawn care, and so now we're doing lawn care at our headquarter buildings. And the biggest cut probably was to cancel our Amazon Prime subscription. And so all those little cuts allow us to keep those dollars headed towards our frontline team members that can really serve our guests at the front.
So throughout all of these exercises, it was really important to us to still be able to provide epic interactive experiences to every single guest. What we found is that the best way for us to continue to provide hospitality at a world-class level to our guests was to focus on our business and our team first. We leveraged our confidence in our industry and our product in order to enter into some difficult and at times uncomfortable conversations with a lot of our landlords, marketing partners, and vendors. But we feel like ultimately we came out with solutions that allowed us to cut costs and have a more stable future for our company.
Hi, I'm Ben from the game design department at the Escape Game. I'm here to talk to you about innovation and what's really been a challenging time for all of us. I don't think there's a person at this conference that hasn't been affected in some way. We're all in an industry that thrives on in-person, immersive, high-touch experiences, and all that came to a screeching halt. Escape rooms across the globe shut down all at once. And how did our industry react? We started creating cool, new ways for people to play games. Within weeks, there were new technologies emerging, there were new ways to interact and feel immersed, sometimes even more so than in a real-life game. The geographic barriers were completely taken down with online games. I was actually able to play a game that I never thought I would be, especially right now, in Amsterdam, Logic Locks, Catacombs. It was a fantastic game. We played it from our office above Ruins at our East Iris location. Then, about a week later, I was able to play Ready Mayor 1 and control electronics remotely with like no delay. All the props were amazing. It's all really, truly amazing innovation. And I think what's been more impressive to me is how quickly it has come to market. 4 months ago, this wasn't even an idea, and now there are over 100 experiences available online to choose from, and it grows every single day. And we've seen it in our own remote adventures. We've had to do things much faster than we've done in the past. Normally, we would take 4 or 6 weeks to test a game. Our first remote adventures, we took less than a week to test. And if you'd been in those first demos, you would have thought we were crazy. Our game guide was set up with a headlamp and a camera strapped to his head with headphone wires and power wires running down to a battery pack, and it was a mess, and I think he tripped and fell during the first demo, and gameplay was clunky. Interactions with players were super awkward, but we learned, and the next day we tested again, and by the end of the week we were happy and ready to launch something globally. And with the global barriers down, we've also seen demographic barriers removed. People that wouldn't normally play escape games are now playing games. We're already keeping in touch with our friends and loved ones via Zoom, via Google Hangouts, playing games online. So it's just a short leap to get them to play an escape game. So the industry is really growing. And I think what's really important with that, with the innovation, with the speed to market, with the growing demographic of players, we've got a chance to really present some quality experiences and to generate buzz in our industry. So the better the experience, the more buzz we'll get, and that's really, really better for us all. This industry has done what seems like years of work over the course of just a few months. Imagine what we can do in 1 year, what we can do in 5 years. I am so excited to see what's next, what all of you create.
Our team is excited to have been able to share with you today some of the insights and learnings that we're getting through, going through all the challenges with COVID and beyond. We really believe that if we as a community can deliberately serve guests through the lens of hospitality and innovation, that we can take this industry together to heights it hasn't seen before. We want to thank the entire community for all the passion and creativity and inspiration that you are providing in this difficult time. And we are on the edge of our seats, not only to hear the speakers coming up at this convention, but also to see what this industry does in the near future. On behalf of the Escape Game, thank you.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Lisa. And we're from RoomEscapeArtist.com, the hosts of RECON, the Reality Escape Convention.
This was one of 15 talks that we put on at RECON Global this year, a digital convention for the escape room and immersive gaming industries, for players and for owners and everyone in between. They gathered on August 23rd and 24th of 2020.
We're releasing all 15 of these talks about once a week over the coming months so that they'll be accessible to you. To find them, you subscribe here to the Room Escape Artist YouTube channel. And if you're interested in more information about RECON, go to realityescapecon.com and subscribe to the newsletter.
We put on RECON completely for free because we didn't want there to be financial barriers. We are, however, supported by our Patreons, and so we're thankful to those who are already supporting us. And if you have the ability to support us right now, and you want to, and you like what we're doing, we would really appreciate it. People who back us get early access to these videos along with a whole bunch of other perks.
That is the Room Escape Artist Patreon page. And if you're enjoying these videos and this industry, please support the creators in the space. Play their games in person or virtually. They're doing so many innovative things right now, and we hope that you'll enjoy those.
Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next video.